I know that. Kwa majima yilisa kwa ni jali kutuke kama mafuta ya jamasi. Kugaidi za jambo de uzie ndetsa kuno bwino kutozibira. Panali be muntu otani ondi for there. Then nine ndiji kwambiri yona kuti ndikuziye zinthu ngati zimenezo. Ndiye in 2001 ndimafunira kuti ndikambe form 1. At that time utakamba form 1 makola ine sana nilise kupereka uje school fees, and I was like forced to drop out of school. Ndita see a school ndinaganiza ngodi kweni ngabanje jani yona kuti I can keep up with my schoolwork, with my friends who are going to school at that time. So one way for me to do was like do like studying. So I decided to start like going to the library. Like enough, before I graduated from my primary school, there was a company that introduced a small library. There was like quite like a number of books. Mostly there was like textbooks and some other like novels. So I was interested to see like if I can be able like to read the books. I thought that when my parents found money, they can send me back to school. So I didn't want to be like very behind from my friends who were going to school at that time. So I ended up like going to that library. The mawere ngabandi mabuka mene amakichwa chino ngadapo one. Then as on the mabusa zanga kuliko tendelo na kuzira jana ndandi photobotera ndipanga unjeni nditenga notes kwa John. Then I get a little bit of another book to be made in the chooses window mill cover. Then Kawering and Kara window mill could fast forward and generate electricity. So from being from Kasungu, it's mostly like agricultural activities that we do. I thought that if I can build a windmill to pump water, then I can be able to study like irrigation, growing food 2 to 3 times a year. So I thought that it can be a solution towards the problem that we are facing. At that time, ndinali be ndrama inali yose na kuti ndikapangizo zoti ndipangire and the panga windmill. So what I end up doing, I end up going to the junkyard. So the junkyard inali ngati secondary school imene anandipirikitsa kuti inali be ndalama inali it used to be a garage. So when they run out of like business, they donate that place to Minister of Education, and the Minister of Education anaisin Malata kwasa luka school. Many mabino mene school mene anandi tamagisa mabino mwe kugana na school. Pamene ndi mapanga zimene za family amandiseka ina makenza ngati kuti mina ngapena ndi suda jamba mina mwake ndopanga misa. Regardless of what people are saying, still not see a bit of a good life or not is a bit of your men with your and sugar. My sin about so many nappies and not as a tractor, funny, not as a shape of Zoba, we many not it's from the sharp windmill. After some time, I was able to build that windmill, which was like generating power. And a lot of people were coming in from different areas. They were like, oh, what do you use this for? I'll be like, oh, I'm using it to generate power, and it can be able like to power it can power like a radio, it can power lights, and also it can charge your phone. Some people had like cell phones. They're like, can we try to charge our phone? I'd be like, oh, for sure, of course. So when you plug in a phone and show that it will charge, and in the mouth of that thing, and Simon, before they will charge, I no. Think I will provide it. People could be like, if you come up on a free that time, we are taking a full charge. Then it could be able to do much getting my phone. So most of the time I was just living there because they just want to get their phone charged. There are intermediates. Interpanga with me, you've seen that here in the library, in my village. The librarian asked me, why do you always check out the same book? So I explained to her that the book inspired me, helped me to build the windmill. And she was very interested to come to see. She came to my village, she saw it, she went back, and a few weeks later, all the people that donate, the organization that donates the books in that library, they were visiting all the libraries around the area. Arabia Menego, the librarian told them, Woody, in your Nabangama gets after I inspired from one of the books. And they were also very interested to come to see it. They came to my village, they saw it, they went back, And the second time with me, a lot of like journalists. One of the journalists wrote an article, and that article was picked up by one of my friends now. I didn't know him before. And that article was picked up by one of the guys who was my friend's boss put that article on his blog, and that blog was picked up one of the guys who was part of organizing the TED conference. I don't know if you are familiar with TED conference, which was happening like in Arusha. So I was invited to attend the conference. So when I was at the conference, a lot of people, I spoke very briefly, and a lot of people came up to me. They're like, how can we help you? I'm like, I told them that I want to continue building more windmills, especially windmills that could pump water, and also like continue with my studies. Because my original idea was to build a windmill to pump water for irrigation, but I ended up building a windmill which was like generating power. Because at that time I couldn't find the materials to build a water pump, and I also kind of like a little bit like I had like a knowledge of how the electricity can be generated. Because when I was much younger, I thought that inside the radio there are small tiny people who speak. There was one day when my parents went away, I took their radio. I was like, I want to say hi to the people who speak. And when I opened, I was very surprised to see very tiny things that looks like this. Being a kid, there was only one way to tell. I was like, I'm gonna pinch one of it real hard, and if it feels some pain, they'll be like, leave us alone. But that didn't happen. So at that time, I completely like destroyed their radio. And feel that I was kind of like trying to figure out and learn how to fix it. And once I learned how to fix radios, most of the time when the mabisa chilo mabadi don't know that how I had it. Then when I got radio in mabisa chilo mabadi la wili, the maringa mina mabadi lo when mina mabadi lo when we move panga power wireless yam genyoki chilo mabadi la wili. Then from there I was able to know how I can be able to generate electricity. That's why instead of building the windmill to pump water, I end up building the windmill to generate power. And so when I was at the conference, that's what I said. I want to build more windmills, especially one that can pump water and also go back to school. And a lot of people were able to help me to get like materials that I needed to build a one that could pump water. And I was also able, they were also able to help me to go back to school. So I went back to school here for 1 year, and after I finished, I went to, at the conference, there was this one guy who was the co-founder of one of the high schools that I went to, called African Leadership Academy in South Africa. So I went there for 2 years. After that, I went to the US for 4 years, where I graduated like last year. So that's how I kind of like started. I can say like everything like started like from the library. So most of the time when I see like people coming into the library reading, like getting like information, I get like really like inspired because of like my story started like from there. And when I look from the time that I started my project to where I am right now, I see like I face like so many like challenges that could simply stop me from doing what I wanted to do. So one thing that I can share with you like this afternoon is like, in everything that you do in life, you're gonna face like some challenges, but don't allow those challenges to take away your dreams. Everything is possible. All the people that they are like successful today, at some point, they faced some challenges, but they didn't allow those challenges to take away their dreams, and everything is possible in life. So that's one thing that I just wanted like to share with you, and thank you for listening. Sure, yeah, I can take like some questions.
I'm just several people from what I just said, but let me just take one First place is interesting. Actually, I've been following what you have been doing, and But from what I've seen, you say of reading last year in America, and you are still staying in America. But I look now Malawi, where our young generation is working. Many people go to school just maybe to get employed. They are, can say there's not that strong leadership that can begin to inspire, open the eyes to begin to rely on themselves, not only just to be employed. And one of the challenges that we have, people like you, who can maybe sacrificing, especially people going to school, maybe their schools, and they give them guidance, tell them what can be done. We have advised us, we have counseled us, we know now what to do because of what life can do. But you are based in America. My question is, why can't you, I don't know, maybe your plan, or you tell us maybe what you have to do, maybe about your nation, about your home. Because what I've done, I don't think I'm going to do it in America. You also need your knowledge, you also need your inspiration. What is your plan? What is your thinking towards plan?
That's really like a great question. I actually like forgot like also like to say that like earlier like today I was speaking to other like a group in
Luchenza.
One thing that I said is like education, it's not necessarily that you're gonna get like employed. That's really like a big problem like here. So what I see is like when somebody doesn't get like a job, they just like stay instead of like thinking other ways. How can I use like the knowledge that I have to make a living or to benefit my community? One thing that I'm like kind of like planning to do, it's like I'm trying to set up like innovation center where like anybody who has like an idea, they can come in and we can be able like to work together, trying to find the ways of like developing that idea that can benefit for the it can benefit their community or it can benefit the entire nation. So that's kind of like my idea is like to be able like to set up like something where all those like young, because I know that there are so many like talented young people in Malawi, but sometimes their ideas and skills don't get to use like the full potential because of like some circumstances. So by just setting up like just like a simple platform which is going to allow them like to be able to express their ideas and their goals, I think that's one thing that I'm like really like planning to do.
Maybe I will not get off track for what I said. When exactly, because I don't feel the team maybe they did it, but at least for one of them to tell us, we can have the picture. Because you know, in the best of Malawi, every year, we produce graduates, maybe of any engineers, but all of them what they want is to be employed. So we are struggling and fighting for the jobs that even it's late, it's so very minimal. Not all of us being employed. So we can rely on what we have to transform what this generation can be. So that's why I'm like, when you say you're planning, I don't know the space of time.
Yeah,
Using yourself how that way.
I have already started like doing some kind of like research. I've already been like talking like to some people that they are like doing it. They are working similar kind of like work in other like countries. Still like talking to them how they started and learning from them what they are doing. That I have already like started and a couple months ago I was like talking to one guy. They were like doing some work like in London and they are like saying that whenever like you are ready, we have like they have like already like kind of like a building that you can be able like they offered me like a place where I can be able like to operate. So it's like I can say like I'm still kind of like doing like research trying to build more because one thing that I'm really like interested in is like to start something that is gonna be more sustainable. I don't wanna like start something just like start something today and tomorrow it's gone because it's not really like sustainable. So that's one thing that I'm really like trying to focus. If I'm gonna start something, how am I gonna make that like sustainable to live like longer and to have like meaningful, longer lasting like impact to the society and community.
Yeah, my question is, because basically what I'm seeing here is like you have brought me book. All we are seeing here is book. But maybe I wanted to hear a success story, whereby maybe there is a village somewhere it has been transformed by the windmill or the wind power. So all I need here this afternoon, I want to tell us, say, this is how I have transformed my village, because everyone can read books and books can comply with a small book itself. So maybe you want to tell us that this is how I have transformed my village from hunger, maybe to prosperity and stuff like that. So, Ngozi, my colleague has put in, I started in America, staying there, but what we do here is transform this nation, so that maybe we have tangible evidence of what we have been doing so far, rather than have to do this.
Yeah, I've done like several like projects in my village. One of the projects was like rebuilding like the primary school that I went to. Now we have like 4 classroom blocks and we installed like solar panels and later on like the students they can be able like come and study later at night. And the other thing that I've done like during like a borehole and we installed like a pump and pretty much like everyone can come and get like free drinking water for free. We have done like also like some work at the high school that I was like kicked off, like done like some work there that is like helping out with like the community. But the most likely one other thing that I kind of like do is also like teaching some of my skills to other people in the community, so that they can be able like to help their families or help their like community, teaching them other like skills. I taught a lot of people how to build their own like windmills. There are like some people that have built their own windmills that generate like power, and I've also like teach people how to maintain and fix water pumps. Now like in the villages, like if their boreholes broke or something like that, they don't need to wait for somebody to come in and fix it. They can fix it by themselves. So those are kind of like some stuff that I've been doing to, in order like to reach out like in the areas that is it can have like a very meaningful like impact to the community.
Okay, mine is first of all I would like to appreciate the way you seem to be more patriotic. You've taken your time to come from America, but you've decided to go across the nation and talking to people like us. So this is quite amazing. You are innovative enough, and it seems that your work is relevant to the problems that we are facing here in Malawi. We are usually food insecure, and we are having blackouts each and every day. So your work seems that it has got a direct solution to these problems. Do you have, I've seen that you've already said that you have a plan to open an innovative center. Do you also have plans to come up with projects that can actually, at a larger scale, respond to these problems that are facing us now? And I would like to know, for how long will you be staying still in America? Or do you have plans to come back in Malawi? Because people like you are scarce, so we need resources like this to stay around with us here so that we can learn from you. And another thing is, most of us, of course, we can buy, but there are not many that can manage to pay 7,500 a quarter. I'm trying to be honest. Yeah. So I would like to know if you are going to leave copies of your book in this library so that to us who cannot be able to pay now, we can benefit from this.
So, like the other, like you are talking about like the project that is gonna like having like the if I have like something to delect like have like a solution towards some of the problems that like we are facing as the nation. I'm hoping that by introducing that kind of like innovation center, then it's gonna spark those ideas that people have already, like their own like solution towards their own like problem, like they're gonna come up with those like solution towards like the problem that they are like trying to face. I'm still like there are a number of things that I'm still kind of like doing. I'm like working on like this like project of like biogas.